everyone. Well, Happy New Year. And we are coming up with a very interesting topic today. It's constipation. Do you know that approximately 16% of the whole world population suffers from constipation? And how do you define constipation? I was just Googling up and learning about constipation is when you have problem, passing your having bowel movements. And so that's how you define constipation. So today, I am inviting Dr. Shilpi. She's an Ayurveda doctor, and she will be talking about constipation, Ayurveda perspective of how all of us can help with that constipation. If you've had something really strange at night and next day you're having problem, so those are the things that we'll be talking about right now with Shilpi, who is an Ayurveda doctor. So I'm waiting for her to join. If there is anything else that you like to talk about or have any questions, you are welcome to bring it up. So what I am doing is it's actually funny. We should all know what our poop looks like. So I was looking up in the Bristol chart of what they call it is how our poop should look like, and they have 6 different ways that our poop should look like. That's what they do. So all of us should see, if our poop, when we go for our bowel movements in the morning or whatever time, it's at the right shape and consistency what it's supposed to be. So the constipation is simple pellets, the pellets. If you have a dark pellet and if you have having problem doing a bowel movement, that's what they define as constipation. So I'm waiting for Dr. Shilpi to join me and see what we can talk about. Any other questions that you have? Anything that you like to talk about? In the video, or anything else that we will be talking about. So just hang on one second, and one who's an Ayurveda doctor, she joins me, and we'll talk about how Ayurveda is an amazing science. I think we've done so many webinars. Here you are.
Hi.
How are you, Shilpi? Well, great to see you.
Good to see you too, Amita. I'm really sorry for. I know this has been such a long overdue, and I've been giving you different times and dates. I'm really sorry. I'm so happy that we're finally live here.
Absolutely. By the way, everyone, this is Shilpi. She is an Ayurveda doctor, and I was telling our viewers, we're talking about a very interesting topic called constipation. Guys, it's funny, but every day when you go to bowel movements, take a look at your bowel movement, take a look at what you're passing through, right? It's important. Really, honestly, jokes apart, it is important. So before I go deep into the topic of constipation, maybe you can tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll start talking about what exactly constipation is.
Okay, so hi everyone. I am Shilpika, and I am owner of Shilpi Ayurveda and Wellness. I did my Ayurveda medicine back in India, and I've moved to the US 4 years back. I was working in New York, but now I'm in Cleveland. I've opened my own Ayurvedic studio. It's called Shilpi and Wellness. So yeah, that's about me.
All right, so let's define what constipation is. I was looking up the Bristol chart right before our talk, and believe it or not, Bristol chart defines our poop in 6 different categories, right? So we don't want to, this session is not about poop or, how we poop and what we do, but this session is definitely related to why we are constipated and what defines constipation.
Okay, so constipation is when you have fewer or lesser than 2 or 3 bowel movements in a week. And even when you have a bowel movement, if it's really difficult, it's really hard, it's very rough, and it's black in color, that's when you can call it a constipation. Yeah.
So 2 or 3 bowel movements in a week.
In a week, yeah.
In a week. Okay.
And trust me, Amita, people actually ignore this. People think it's okay. I did take a shit day before yesterday. I didn't take a shit after 4 days, but still it's okay. Like, people think it's okay to poop only 2 or 3 times in a week, you know?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So lesson number one, guys, it is not okay to poop once or twice a week. It's okay to do it on a single day. That's what Shilpi's telling us, right, Shilpi?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, every single day, how many times we need to go poop? That's the question.
I mean, even if it's couple of once in couple of days is also fine. But honestly, like, why would you want to keep the waste in your body? You know, my
Yeah.
mom used to always joke, if you don't poop in the morning, the poop will go to your head. And I used to be so scared, you know, like, I didn't understand what she was trying to say, but like, what it means is, like, if you don't poop, you're sluggish, you're weak, and you're lazy, you're like, so that's what she means, actually. So yeah. So it's really important that you poop every day. But if you can poop every day, and even if it's once in 2 days, even it's fine. But then if you don't poop more than 2 or 3 for more than 2 or 3 days, then that's a problem. That's an issue.
Okay, so that's important. So now we establish the guidelines of our poop schedule. I should say that. So now let's go into Ayurveda, right? And you are an Ayurveda doctor, and you help so many of your clients with all these issues. So let's talk about where does Ayurveda come in, and how does Ayurveda help with this?
So basically, what's different in Ayurveda management is that we don't treat symptoms. Especially when I have a client, I dig so deep to try and find out what's really causing. So it's really important. I mean, what's different in Ayurveda is that we give so much importance for a cause, and then at the same time, we don't manage or treat every patient with the same medicines or same thing, because every individual is different. So it's very important to understand what the body constitution is, what the body type is. So yeah, it's the cause, it's the body type. And also it's very important in Ayurveda, we stress so much about daily routine. So yeah, what's different in Ayurveda is that we try and find out the cause. We give a lot of importance for daily routine, and each individual is different, so we treat every individual differently.
So let's So let's particularly focus on the constipation part, right? So Ayurveda has a concept of, it's not what you eat but what you digest, right?
Yeah.
So it talks a lot about that, and it talks specifically on constipation. How does Ayurveda help, and what are the key elements on a very high level that Ayurveda say, okay, this is what you need to do on a very high level, and this is not a medical advice, guys. This is just high level education we are doing.
So basically, you need to understand that constipation is not a disease. It can also be a complication or associated with other diseases as well. Honestly, Amita, like, all the clients that I get, there are very less clients who come only for constipation problem. In fact, people don't even talk about constipation, like, I'm going to tell you a case which I solved, where this lady didn't poop for almost 15 days and she was not worried. Anyways, coming back to constipation in Ayurveda. So what Ayurveda says is that when there's Vata dosha aggravation, or when there's dryness in the body, that's when you have difficulty in pooping. So you have to completely avoid taking dry food or cold food and rough and light food. So that's one of the most important things that we concentrate. And I kind of, the moment you talk to the client, you will know what their dietary habits are, and you know that they eat cold food and light food and dry food and untimely food, like they skip their lunch and they have big dinner and small lunch. So these are the certain things that we have to change, and that's one of the main reasons. And also, oh my God, like, how can we not talk about mental issues and depression and anxiety? All this plays a very big part in gut issues. And I know you're going to ask me about Agni and Ama. So yeah, Agni is such an important and such an interesting concept in Ayurveda. So yeah, Agni also plays a very important role in digestion and elimination of stool. So yeah, ask me more questions, Amita.
So let's, so there's a concept of Agni and Ama in Ayurveda. So maybe you just explain it in a very simple way what Agni is and what Ama is, right?
Yeah, so Agni and Ama is such a huge topic.
So
It's like you can talk for hours about Agni and Ama, but I'm going to give a small gist of this. So Agni in Ayurveda or in Sanskrit means fire. Now, fire is such an essence of life. It's such an important element in evolution, and it's also an important element in so many new innovations throughout ages. Now, fire or Agni in regards to a human body is also as important as it's important for a universe. So Agni resides in every cell, every tissue, and every system in our body. And Agni is the one which will determine, or which will determine what comes inside a cell and what will go outside as a waste. Okay. Now, there are 40 different types of subtypes of Agni in Ayurveda, but the main type or the main Agni is the Jataragni, or the central digestive fire, which resides in our abdomen or in our gut.
Yeah.
And fire or Agni is the one which helps in transformation of food into energy, and it also helps in elimination of food. And elimination of waste. Now, when there's impairment or if there's any disturbance in this Agni, there's obviously that food doesn't get digested well. And when the food doesn't get digested well, there's toxins produced. And these toxins can get absorbed by our body, and then there'll be so many other symptoms. So if Agni is the good part, the opposite part is the Ama, the toxin part of Agni when it's impaired. So every time we digest, there's always a little toxin that's produced. It's okay for that little Ama to be produced, which will get eliminated. But most of the time, when Ama gets eliminated, Ama gets accumulated more. The more Ama gets accumulated, you will see signs and symptoms like you'll be feeling weak, you'll have fatigue, maybe 2 or 3 times you won't poop well, there'll be diarrhea or there'll be constipation. So these symptoms should not be ignored. Everyone has Ama, but how much Ama do you have? Is your Ama getting accumulated, or are you doing anything to remove it? It's about that.
Okay, I think that's a very simple way that you explain the analogy between the Agni and the Ama. It's very simple, like it's opposite, right?
It's opposite. If you see the qualities of Ama and Agni, it's exactly opposite. Yeah.
And someone made a comment over there. There's a mental disorder that helps, which you mentioned earlier. Like the mental health is very closely related with gut health, which all of us now know. There's a gut and a brain axis, and then if mental you have issues, then you're going to have problem with your poop or going to the bowel movements. So I just want to say that of all the people who are watching, we are bringing a more detailed program with Shilpika, Ayurveda doctor, in a couple of months on constipation. But today is just an overall session just to educate on a high level, what constipation is and how can Ayurveda help. So maybe on a very high level, we can talk about, are there simple herbs, or what should people do, just on a very high level? Should we drink a lot of water? Should we take some herb like Triphala or something? I mean, what should we do?
The main thing is following a daily routine. What is the point of taking Triphala if you're waking up at 10 in the morning? Tell me,
No. I'm not. I just go see, people say, buy Triphala. And you go Google like all of us, and they say, Triphala is 3 fruits, and people start thinking, okay, let's start taking Triphala. But to your point,
no. Even Triphala, you can't go crazy with Triphala. Like if you take too much Triphala, it can cause dryness, because all the 3 the fruits can cause dryness if you take too much of Triphala. So it's not about just taking Triphala. Obviously, Triphala is like a super herb. You can definitely take it, but then it's more about following a routine. It's more about eating according to your constitution. uh, and also you have to use digestive spices in
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
food, like your ginger, your coriander, your cumin. All of these are very important, and having food at regular time, and
Hmm.
also making sure that you don't combine food that's opposite in nature,
Yeah.
because basically you should not be doing anything that cause ama or
Yeah.
impairment of agni.
Yeah.
Let me give a small example. Yeah, like today I had a client in the morning. He came in for a treatment, and I saw him bringing a bottle of water, like a plastic water inside a plastic
Yeah.
bottle, and I've been telling him so much that, please drink warm water.
Yeah.
His digestion is so bad.
Yeah.
So when your digestion is already sluggish, it's already weak, and you drink a glass of cold water, it's
Yeah.
like you're putting off the fire.
Hmm.
So these are the main things. It's not just about taking herbs. Of course, there are magical herbs like triphala, there's licorice, there you can take buttermilk, you can, what else, there's so many
Yeah.
herbs. But then I think
Just amla itself. Yeah.
amla
Yeah.
will boost your immune system.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to talk a lot about this when
Of
we do our
course.
hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think you made a very good point, and that's what all of us, like, I think we have been programmed, and including me, I'm including myself. What we do is, we see a problem and we say, oh, let me take this. We are a popping pill society,
Oh yeah.
unfortunately,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And now we're not popping pills. Now we're popping all these herbal things in our bodies without thinking it through. But
Yeah.
but I think Shilpika, with the doctor, she has a very good point. Eat according to your personalized constitution. It is
Yeah.
so simple thing, and we ignore it.
Also,
Right?
one
Go
more
ahead.
thing.
Yes.
How can we forget seasonal routine? Like,
Yes.
when I see people buy bananas when it's really cold outside, I'm like, why would you buy bananas? It's cold, dude. Like, why would you buy banana? Why would you eat banana when it's really, really cold? Or why would you eat yogurt or curd in winter? So it's also about eating seasonally. And these days, we were supposed to talk about modernization and how it directly links to our gut tissue.
Yeah.
Modernization means upgrade in food industry, in upgrade in everything, in fact. So even the food industry gets upgraded when you say modernization. And modernization also means that fast-paced lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
And people have 2 or 3 jobs, and they don't want to think about cooking. That's the last priority.
Yeah.
So because of this, they end up eating fast food or food that's very convenient to eat, right? So that's one of the most important things. So modernization and new food, all of this is plays such an important role in our gut tissues and our gut health.
So you brought up a very good point, and all the viewers who are watching and who will watch later, you talk about the seasonal part. The problem is not the users. The problem is, if I go to my farmer's market, I see bananas. You will not believe it. I'm seeing watermelon, which
Oh
is a
yeah.
summer
Oh
fruit.
yeah. It's so funny, right? Even I see watermelons in the market. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. It's not
So,
summer.
so as a user, I mean, as a kid, I grew up thinking, oh, summer fruits are this, winter fruits are this. But the truth is, when we go outside in the supermarket and we see all the fruits, and we are thinking, oh, let me load up on fruits and veggies, without thinking that it's not seasonal or not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That is a huge issue. It's
yeah.
How do we do it? As a user, I'm going to have problems with my gut issues, because now, from my point of view, I'm eating all the fruits and vegetables which I'm supposed to eat, but that's not what I'm supposed to eat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's simple. Yeah. Like, you need to get in touch with an Ayurvedic doctor and find out what your body constitution is.
Yes.
And get a proper knowledge. There's so many really good books, Ayurvedic books, which will differentiate which are seasonal fruits, which are not seasonal fruits, and what fruits are good for your body constitution. I mean, it's not a rocket science, and
and that's what we are trying to educate now.
Is available.
And that's what we're trying to make a point, because most of us don't know what is right, what is wrong. And that's really the point of, there's a daily regimen and there's a seasonal regimen. So I also want to say that Shilpi, Ayurveda doctor, she is a yoga expert as well. So so maybe you can tell us a simple
I'm not a yoga expert, but I do yoga.
Simple things. So simple yoga asanas.
So simple yoga asana, like what I do usually is whenever I feel that I poop every day in the morning. Like I poop in the morning is very essential. Like, but if I don't, what I do or what I tell my clients to do is a stomach rub or a massage. So good. So important. So like a clockwise abdomen rub is so important.
Oh, just clockwise. Okay.
It has to be clockwise because that's how our food moves. So by doing that, you kind of stimulate. That's one thing. And when it comes for yoga, obviously you're going to do breathing exercise, because breathing means you're taking so much oxygen in. That means it helps in metabolism. So breathing exercise is very important. Your abdomen rub. And also, I think any forward bend exercises.
Yeah.
And twist. Twist is also
good. Like this one, like that, like
Matsyasana, where you
twist. Matsyasana, yes.
Yeah. So any asanas that helps in twisting. So basically, it's that motion, like forward bend, and twist.
Okay.
Yeah, these are very, very important. Like, so there's so many yoga asanas, but what you have to remember is any asana that helps in forward bending and twist are some of the very important things. And even child pose, you know, I remember my mom used to actually make me do the child pose when I was young. If we didn't poop at home, you know, like she used to make us do that. And it's not funny, trust me, the moment in the morning, if you kind of have a bubble movement, but if it's not coming down, guys, if you're listening to me, do this, do a stomach rub and just do a child's pose. Just keep bending your body down like this. Trust me, it'll help you. And drink a glass of warm water.
Yeah. So simple thing. Drink. I mean, I've started drinking. I don't know, 3 glasses of warm water in the morning. And
you don't have to drink 3 glasses of warm water, hon. You just have to drink one glass. See, water is good, but don't go crazy with water as well. 1 to 2 glasses of water is good. You don't have to drink 2 glasses of water, 3 glasses of water.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the underlying thing is that we all eat according to our personalized constitution, which is Vata, Pitta, Kapha. All of us have that, and all of us are the way we look different from outside. Our bodies also are different from inside, right? That should be in a way.
In a way, yeah.
Okay, so what is the underlying? How would you summarize it? What should we do? Let's just summarize this, what we all talked about.
I didn't understand your question, Amita.
So let's summarize this. The step number 1 is that, you know, simple things like you talked about, simple yoga asanas, you know, clockwise, anything that's twisting and turning.
Don't wake up and drink coffee. Don't wake up. First thing people do is wake up and drink coffee. Coffee is very drying in nature. Okay.
I see.
So now, even though people think that they kind of it stimulates the poop, it's not. It in a long term, it's going to make your gut more dry, your stool more dry. So one of the common mistake what people do is waking up and drinking coffee. Don't do that. Drink a glass of warm water. And most of the time people say, you know, I poop, but I poop later in the evening. So for people like that, I want to tell them, just make a habit to just go and sit in the toilet. Just every day in the morning, if it's 7 o'clock, just go sit. Drink a glass of warm water.
That's funny, but you say that, but it's true.
It's true. Just go sit. You know, your biological clock will get used to it. Now, when I'm in India and when I come back here after, like we have, what do you call that? What's the thing when you come back?
Bidet, the one with the water?
No. What I was trying to say is you have, when you're in a different country, when you come back.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So your biological cycle, your biological clock gets used to pooping and eating and sleeping to the place where you are at, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So the same thing in the morning. If you make a habit to go to the toilet and just tell yourself that you want to poop at this time, and if you do this for a week, of course you're going to end up like, you will make a habit to poop in the morning. So that's one thing. And then other thing is that don't fast, unless you're a person who's used to fasting, then fine. But like, people just decide, oh, today I'm going to fast because I want to lose weight, and then you stop eating carbs, you stop eating fat, you stop eating everything, and just keep drinking fruit juice. Not happening. You're not going to lose weight, you're going to end up in constipation. So don't fast. That's the other thing. And if you want to do intermediate fasting, like you have supper in the evening and you want to skip breakfast, it's totally fine. But do it slowly. Like if you decide to do an intermediate fasting, just have a small bowl of fruits if you want to start with. And then maybe you can not have the bowl of fruits as well. But don't just decide to stop eating food one day. That's not what you're supposed to do. And also after your lunch, please have a digestive tea, because it's really good to, it helps in digesting. And if you're using any kind of legumes, or if you're using any kind of beans, make sure you soak your beans overnight, or at least 2 or 3 hours before you cook it. And also, one of the most important thing is use hing or asafoetida. Just sprinkle. Just because I told someone that day that hing is good, they just went crazy hing. And then she called me and said, oh my God, I have stomach burning. Just sprinkle. I mean, I'm sure Indians know that, but if anybody other than Indians watching this, just sprinkle hing. And that's one more thing. And also, like, baked apples are really, really good. So if you're someone who is suffering from a weak digestion, after your lunch, please have a bowl of baked apples. When you're baking your apples, make sure you put some, maybe sprinkle some sugar, like coconut sugar, and some cinnamon powder. Just make it a little tasty. And so that's one thing. And hydrate yourself, and just don't go crazy. Water just after your food. Don't go like 3 glasses of water. Give some time, give some gap after you have your lunch. And so what else? And also make sure that do not have raw salad, like raw vegetable. If you're someone who has a weak digestion, try and avoid raw salad. Raw salad means it's very rough in nature. We are not cows, we are human beings. So human beings need to warm our food or cook our food. So because I have so many people, Amita, like especially who are into yoga, who are into wellness, they come to me and tell me, oh, Pika, but guess, I'm such a healthy eater. I eat only raw salad. I eat so much vegetables. Why am I still constipated? That's because, your body cannot digest raw vegetables. And also, it also depends on your body constitution. If you're a Pitta body type, it's easy for you to digest. But if you're a Vata or a Kapha body type, if you're a weak digestion, then raw vegetables are very difficult to digest.
I think that's a lot of and someone had a comment that they find this information very useful and they like what we're doing. So that's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I do want to say that's amazing information, Dr. Shilpi. So we are bringing this program as well from Dr. Shilpi, who's an Ayurveda doctor. And stay tuned, and we'll let everyone know. The program would be, she will be leading this program on specifically on constipation, because a lot of us have this issue. So stay tuned until then, and keep bringing your comments to us. We bring every day an interesting topic. So let us know what other things you'd like to say. With this, I'd like to wrap up the session. Any last comment from you?
Amita, I think when we decided to start this, I didn't understand how important this is. Because see, if you go to the internet, there's a lot of information. Okay. But then it's very different to get information from a person who is seeing clients every day, who suffers from all these things, And in fact, I'm not saying I'm like, oh my God, I'm like such a big doctor, I know everything, but I'm learning every day as well. And it'll be so awesome for me to share this information. And I'm so grateful, and thank you so much for including me in this journey of yours. And I'm really looking forward to do our next session together. And thanks everyone for joining us. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can ask Amita, you can DM her, or you can DM me. My Instagram page is Ayush Shilpi, Ayurveda and Wellness. So yeah, thank you so much. Have a great day, guys.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. And someone said good night. Well,
All right.
I'm
Good
assuming
night.
you're in
Good night to the other side
Asia,
of the world.
Asia somewhere. But yes, thank you so much for being there. Bye
All
now.
right. Bye bye.